Welcome to The Big Break Show, a podcast where we discuss short-term rentals, entrepreneurship, life, mindset, and everything in between. Here are your hosts, Rafa and Jesse Vasquez.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of The Big Break Show. Today is episode 16.
16.
Número 16. I am here with my co-host, Mr. Jesse Vasquez.
What's up, guys? Yeah, you know what, Rafa? I can't believe we're on 16, bro. I say this every time. And today's exceptionally special for number 16 because we have a guy, his name's Jason Griggs. If you guys haven't heard of him, you should check him out. All the description is going to be in the bio. But this dude is in the Vegas market, specifically Henderson, and he focuses on short-term rentals on high-end luxury homes. So I'm pumped to for you guys to listen to this conversation. There was a lot of information dropped in a short amount of time. The luxury space is very unique, as you guys know, and it's really cool to hear the insights, the numbers, and all the things that are happening in the Vegas area. Right, Rafa?
Yeah, it's funny because usually, right, Jesse, me and you, we kind of like signal each other to, hey, let's not talk over each other so we can get a little bit better at it. And today I was like, stop, Jesse, shut up. I got a question. We just kept cutting each other off because it was so good. We both wanted to talk to this guy about everything. It was such a good conversation. I think everybody who's listening and watching is really going to enjoy this one because he dropped some really good info in terms of the regulations. His property. I'm still like, wow, right? Just the video that we saw of his property is amazing. So yeah, guys, hopefully you enjoy this one. It was really, really good. No joke. I know we say that every time, but man, they're just getting better and better. And again, we appreciate all you guys for sticking with us after 16 weeks, right? Episode number 16. That's 4 months, man.
Yes,
so,
he says.
Yeah, we love you all. Thank you for sticking around. Subscribe, share, like, 5-star it on Spotify and iTunes and everything else. Shoot the thumbs up below if you're on YouTube. But thank you guys. We love you all. And without further ado, here is the episode. Jason, man, so thanks for coming on the show. Listen, I got to ask you, I want you to tell the listeners before we get started on everything, tell them a little bit about who you are, what you do, and what you're doing to crush it in the short-term rental market. Because I just literally found out that you're doing this in one of the probably greatest cities to do Airbnb short-term rentals in, right?
Sin City.
Sin City,
baby.
Las Vegas. So yeah, man, tell everybody who you are so we can get started.
Cool. Thanks, guys, for having me. My name is Jason Griggs. I'm an agent here in Las Vegas, Henderson area, and I'm also a big investor, real estate investor in this city and across the country. 2 years ago, I got involved in the short-term rental space, and I just took it by storm. I ended up buying 8 total. I operate 8 out of this, 7 out of the city, and I have one in Kansas City as well. I'm fully engulfed in it, and it's been a wild 2 years of getting these up, operating them, learning the business. But now I've kind of turned the corner, and I'm doing some real big ones, big time luxury rentals that are mansion-sized level homes, and it's been a fun, wild ride.
Okay, Jason, you touched on a lot of different stuff that I want to go into. Number one, you're in Vegas. Number two, Kansas City is actually a market that I'm looking into as of like I was just having a conversation with someone who wants me to take over a 24 unit complex out there for short-term rentals. So we got to talk about Kansas City really quick. But the luxury giant mansion market on top of it, we're going to touch on all of those. But I want to know what made you go from real estate investing into short-term rentals? Like, how did that transition happen first before everything else?
Yeah, and you're a realtor.
Yes.
So I'm sure you started as that. So break that down, man,
okay.
So we can understand that.
So I got my license 5.5 years ago, and the first thing I did right away was I bought a rental property here in Henderson, near the house that I lived in, and I rented it. And I saw that there was a huge demand for rental properties here in Vegas, Henderson area, and I just kept buying them, and my portfolio accumulated. I never sold them. I just kept buying them and watched them go up. And 2 years ago, an agent in my brokerage who was involved in property management at a very high level here, started managing short-term rentals. And he showed me the model and what they were doing, and I was hooked immediately. These short-term rentals are normal rentals, but they're on steroids. The returns are sometimes 3 to 5x of what a normal rental would bring in. And so I just got hooked. I was like, wow, this is really cool. But the real reason I got into it was I'm from New York. I'm from Long Island, New York. I moved here 10 years ago.
I was going to ask about that accent.
Yeah.
You sound like you can kick my ass, man.
I got my New York accent still. That's great. But yeah, so I was getting I get a lot of visitors. People come here all the time, and I needed something. People were like, can you like house me for a month, a few weeks? Can I try it out? And now I have products to help people. And so it kind of just all snowballed into this the business.
So the clients, you're saying you had clients from New York who wanted to come, thinking of moving to Vegas, and because of that, you said, "Hey, I'm going to open these places to house you," and now it just became this amazing short-term rental business.
Yeah, I represent a bunch of professional athletes, and when they come, they train out here. They're UFC fighters, and they wanted to give it a shot for a month, 2 months, and I was like, you know what? If I had some houses to give these guys, that would be great. And I built these short-term rentals. I made them really, really high-end, very nice. And then when I realized when I was putting these things on, the demand for them, there's a lot of people out there that need these things for either a weekend or a month or 6 months. And so I'm going all different directions with my homes now. These short-term rentals are turning into corporate rentals, or people who just want to come and live here for 2 months, get away from the snow back east. And so it's pretty cool.
Now, when you say luxury housing and you do 2 months, just really quickly, how does the difference in revenue look when you do a short-term rental to a midterm 2-month rental in one of these properties?
That's a great question. So there's no real answer. It's your house. You could dictate the price. And so I actually took one of my short-term rentals down. I had a big problem with my neighbor, which is the biggest issue in this business. And I said, you know what? Let me just throw it on for a few by month blocks. And I got someone who their house flooded, and they were willing to give me whatever revenue I was making from the Airbnb website. And they said, hey, and here's your revenue plus a little extra for accommodating us. And it worked out great because now I have less work, less headache, and the profit is just the same, if not better.
I love that, dude. My best bookings come from like insurance companies where people who house flooded and stuff like that. So that's cool.
Yep.
Okay, so really quick, let me ask you, in terms of, let's talk about the actual like Henderson regulations, because I want to know like the median price and stuff like that in housing as well, because I'm curious about that. But before we get into that, can we touch on how you're getting around the regulations, if there is a regulation? Because I mean, it's Las Vegas.
Can I ask a question actually? Because I don't even know where Henderson is. So what Rafa said, and then if you kind of can dictate how far Vegas is, like the strip from Henderson.
Okay.
I don't know anything.
So Henderson is one of the most popular cities in Nevada. And so you have 3 major sectors. Well, 4. You have North Las Vegas, then you have Summerlin area, then you have the mid Clark County, the Las Vegas city, and then you have the southern part of it, which is Henderson. That's where I live, and that's where I do most of my short-term rentals.
Jesse needs to get out of you need to get out of your pocket of California, bro, and go explore a little bit.
I need to. Is Henderson where the base is at?
That's up north. That's Nellis.
Yeah,
that's Nellis. That's right. Okay, cool. Okay.
I used to go to Vegas like every weekend, Jason, back when I was a young kid, so I know all about it. So Jesse,
hey man, I used to go to Vegas too, bro. That
Jesse doesn't leave Modesto. He goes to Fresno and comes back home.
I'm a Vegas guy now, a Henderson guy. I love it. I don't think I'll ever leave here. Coming from New York, now it's expensive, but when I first moved here when I was 22, it was like a joke how cheap everything was. But it's just a fun city. It's got everything now with the sports teams coming in. So to answer your question, Henderson is the only city in Las Vegas right now that has the full regulation of short-term rentals. So they created laws that you have to abide by to own these things. So there's only, I think, 320 right now in Henderson, and there's over 13,000 within the whole sector of Vegas, Summerlin, North Las Vegas. North Las Vegas has a small sector of short-term rentals also, but their rules are like outrageous. You have to own your house for a certain amount of years. But with Henderson, their laws and rules and regulations are in regular print. You can they operate as a business. We have to pay a tax to them to operate.
TOT tax, yeah.
Yep. So you have to go through a whole application process when doing this.
Doesn't that scare you a little bit when you're like, hey, I gotta buy this, I don't know, whatever house price is out there now. I remember when it used to be like 140, they're probably like 400 grand now, right? Maybe even more. But wouldn't that be scary? Like if I go out there and I go, well, I'm about to drop $500,000 on this property. What if they don't approve me?
It happened to me. I bought it. Yes, to answer your question, it's very scary, but that's the only way to do it here in Henderson, and it's going to be a free for all once Las Vegas opens. But yeah, I bought a $1.4 million house, and I sweated my butt off for 30 days as waiting for this thing to get approved, and it did get approved, thankfully. But I did buy one, and it didn't get approved, so I had to sell it.
Okay,
Yeah.
so I'm super sorry, Jesse. I know I keep cutting you off. You have a bunch of questions.
Come on, bro.
Like, this is okay. I'm fascinated by this because, like, so Jason, I do rental arbitrage in case you weren't aware of it, right? And I know you said you can't do arbitrage there, so now I'm curious as to the actual purchasing of these things. And so, $1.4 million house, right? How
Yep.
big is that, and what does the revenue look like in something like that if you do get approved?
So I bought two big ones. I bought one for in the $800,000 range, and then I bought one for the 1.4. I bought them at the same time. The $800,000 house is in an amazing location. It's on the western part of Henderson, so it's very, very close to the Strip. So I booked out an entire year, 300 and something days in 30 days at around $800 a night average.
What size was this? How many bedrooms? How many baths?
4-bed. It's a 5-bed, single story, but the pool and the backyard is amazing.
Okay, and so with that though, really quick, how many was it one reservation or was it like a bunch of reservations?
A bunch. So we broke a lot of records with this house. Like my property management company that I partner with, he was like, I've never seen anything like this. Just the reservations were flowing in, and then 30 days we looked, and I was like, the whole year's booked. And he's like, yeah. He's like, now we just sit back and wait. But my big one is a monster. It's 9,000 square feet. There's two houses on the property. We have a full beach volleyball court, full basketball court, pickleball court. It has literally everything that you could ever want in a short-term rental. We went all out on this property. We just finished it last week.
Wow,
Nice.
man.
Dude, I have a couple questions before Rafa cuts me off.
I know. I was like, I gotta shut up. Sorry, Jesse.
Freaking Rafa, dude. I can't even talk in here right now, Rafa. Come on.
I had like 5 more questions. I'm like, I'm gonna let Jesse ask a couple.
You know what? I know Rafa's had about 3 cups of coffee, and they were all like triple shots. So
Bro, I
got my Red Bull here, ready to go.
So, dude, okay, hang on. First, I'm gonna backtrack a little bit. So, who the heck are the celebrities that you're getting? I'm assuming you're getting celebrities in the house priced out like that, and then maybe we can't drop that information on here, but I'm gonna ask you.
I represent UFC fighters, so I help them buy real estate out here. They're all from where I'm from. I'll shout out my good friend Aljamain Sterling. He's fighting for the UFC belt next 2 weeks. I'm going to watch him in Florida.
Oh,
but yeah, guys like that. But to answer your question, I've actually gotten some celebrities that will kind of want to rent in my house, but they're more like in the music industry. But it's nerve wracking because you're going to rent your house up, but I know these guys are going to trash it and throw the crazy parties, and then that leads to headaches. So I lean more towards renting it to families.
Yeah, that's cool. Okay, yeah, because you have an avatar already. And one of the things too I was going to bring up is, okay, so I've always had people say, why would you buy $1 million home if you don't know what you're going to make on it? So like, how do you break down your numbers? How did you guys go down and say, okay, I'm going to buy a $1.3 million home. I know I'm going to be able to generate X amount of money. Like, how do you?
We didn't know. We didn't know, and I know it sounds crazy, but we didn't. Like
You're freaking nuts, dude.
I know. I've always been like that. I saw this house and I was like, this would be the best Airbnb of all time. That's like when I first walked in, and I partnered with my partner Tyler Hubbs, who's a monster in construction out here, and he rebuilt the whole house, and it's unbelievable. So what we did was we saw it. We saw the vision of it. And then we just did it, and we applied, and it passed. But I don't know what it's going to make. I really don't. There's nothing like it. It's the biggest Airbnb in Henderson, short-term rental. There's nothing anywhere close to it. And so we don't know. We're going to try $3,000 a night, $2,000 a night, and see how it goes. I've already gotten inquiries. People want to rent it for a year, so we might go that route. Also, we just don't know.
Wow.
Yeah. And and I've talked about this before, but I feel the best opportunity right now is to bring an Airbnb or a short-term rental into a market that there's nothing else like, because you're creating the comp for that. So the next guy that comes in with something like yours, Jason, has to go look at your property and be like, okay, cool. If this guy's doing this, then I could probably do this. So if you're coming into that market with something unique, with an experience to it, you get to decide what your market's going to bear, based off of your prices, not what the other comps are doing. So I think that's pretty cool. I was gonna say the luxury end has always been one of those. It's like finicky in the sense that if you buy in the right spot and you calculate your numbers, which you obviously didn't do, and you have a higher risk tolerance than me, like I always have to have exit plans when I'm buying anything. And I think most investors think like that. And maybe some people, I can look at a place, dude, and be like, I have a gut feeling without even looking at numbers that this place is going to kick ass. And I'm pretty sure that's what you did on a scale of like $1 million property though. So that takes me back to this. Hopefully you're looking at numbers going forward now. Or are you going to continue to go with your gut?
I'm a numbers guy too. I am. But here's the reason why we did it. We were getting a lot of inquiries of, do you have anything bigger? Do you have anything bigger? Do you have anything bigger? And we were like, we don't have anything bigger. So what we did was we took our level 3. We went into like what we call level 3 home, which is my one near the strip. And then we went into a level 4, which is just an absolute mansion. And I just know that this thing is like, I put it on my Facebook and my Instagram, and people were like, whoa, what? I want to come visit that. I just know it's going to be a hit. But yeah, it was a gut feeling.
Yeah, it's funny. I was actually going to bring up that you probably had some kind of dictating factor with your other units, right? Because usually when I open something, it's because people are asking for something specific. I mean, dude, not to mention, like, again, it's Las Vegas. You know what I mean? People are dropping thousands of dollars for a hotel room. Why would they not drop thousands of dollars for your property? How big is this place? Yeah, there's a lot of people, Jesse.
Like, how many people go to Vegas a year? Like,
millions.
People are investing in the Smokies and like all these spaces. But Vegas, okay, so hang on real quick before we jump into that, how big it is. Vegas I feel is never going to allow short-term rentals, maybe in Henderson, but the cities are too intertwined with the casinos. The casinos run the show, dude. They're interconnected. They're connected with the government there, like literally. They're being funded by the government's being funded by casinos. If we really think about it, so that's what scares the shit out of me, is to think about you're not in control of this, and neither is the casinos. Like, they're going to dictate everything. So that's what scares me. So what's your thoughts on that as far as the legal system goes when it comes to Vegas, them dictating? The casinos are just playing part of the game, and casinos have lobbyists that go to the government and say, or into the sectors of that end in the financial world, and say, hey, we don't want to have short-term rentals because they're gonna intrude with the amount of money that we're making.
So you nailed it. That's exactly what happened. These casinos, these hotel operators, they don't want these things operating. What happened is that there's so many running illegally that they can't keep up with 13,000 homes doing this. And people are doing it. I don't do it illegally. It's just not worth it because the fines are nuts. But they put a stamp on it and said, look, we have to create a system or something, or else it's just going to keep spiraling out of control. And so the rule came down that, well, there's going to be a law by July 1st for Clark County. And
when you say Clark County, you mean like the city of Las Vegas?
Correct.
Okay. Yeah, because you're saying there's already one in Henderson.
There's one in Henderson. And what I think is going to happen is they're going to copy the city of Henderson's rules and regulations, because it's very organized. I will say that. They have the map, and you could go on the map and look, can I buy this house, and apply for the license? And there's none available because we have no inventory anyway. Plus, all the investors gobble up the houses right away. And so when one does pop on the market, all the short-term rental investors are going after these things, and they get bid up to a crazy number. But with this $1.4 million house that I bought, there was no offers on it. I think it was like an untapped market. Nobody wanted to try it. And so I convinced my partner, I'm like, let's give it a go. And if not, we felt like we were buying it undervalued a little bit just in case. And if not, you can always flip it, or you could always rent it as a normal rental. There's not a lot of big luxury rentals in every city. and there are people with money. So sometimes you get a football player or a hockey player that doesn't care and just will say, yeah, I'll rent your house. I don't care. And so that's what we're doing now.
Yeah. How big is the place?
It's 9,000 square feet. I'll give you the address of it. 956 San Gabriel in Henderson. So if you want to pull it up.
I'm gonna look at this right now as we're
I'm gonna pull it up on my phone.
Go ahead.
How many bedrooms is it?
It's 8 bedrooms.
Oh, geez. Okay.
Full
Makes sense.
basement.
Hey, let's break that down if you don't mind. Can we break down the numbers on it?
Sure.
How did it look in terms of a down payment? Did you have to do 20% down, 25% down because of a vacation home loan, or how did you end up getting it financed?
So we bought it 10% down with hard money. We put 280,000 into it, and we're looking
rehab
at
costs.
Yep, rehab. We started slow, and then it just snowballed into a monster project. And we are looking. The ARV is got to be around 2.1, 2.2. I think. I actually had a call the other day from a guy. He was like, "I'll give you a crazy number for this house," and we were thinking about it. We still are thinking about it, but we put so much time and effort. We want to really run it for a little bit to see how it goes before we sell it.
What's the address again, dude? I'm pulling this up.
956 San Gabriel in Henderson. So the pictures that are up, they're older, but you'll get the vibe of how big it is. 7
bedroom, 6.5 bath. Holy smokes, dude! This has like palm trees all around. It looks cool. You guys go online and check out this place.
956 San Gabriel. If you go on my Instagram, I put a video up on there.
Dude, is that set up in the inside? Like you said you did work on it. It really looks good already.
Yeah, we remodeled the whole thing. So if you go on my Instagram,
what's your Instagram handle so everybody knows too?
It's listed on the screen there. The J Griggs Real Estate.
Okay, cool. All right, cool. We'll have it in the show notes too. Dude, this place looks cool already. It looks cool already before you guys even did anything to it.
I know. That's what I'm saying. Like I saw it, I was like, my partner is unbelievable with construction. He goes all out on his flips, and I was like, this guy would make this house crazy. So it's the second video on my Instagram.
Wow, dude, that thing is beautiful. Who designed this thing for you?
So our designer Brittany, she designed the whole thing. She like lived in this house for 4 months and just did everything.
Dude, this place is cool. It was cool before you even did anything.
Killer.
Thank you.
So hang on. And maybe I'm gonna get a little in depth here, and dude, stop me if this is too much.
I'm happy to answer any question. I like doing this. The more transparent you are, the better.
So what is a hard money loan? Because you're gonna be paying more. Everybody knows about hard money loans, and for those of you who don't know, it's like you're borrowing money for a short amount of time at a higher interest rate. So you're paying way more. So what does that look like right now as far as payment goes? You're gonna refi out of this after the ARV, I'm assuming.
Yep.
And then you're gonna hopefully take the money that you got. So break that down, the process on your thought process behind that, what the ARV is gonna look like, and then what you expect to earn from this place, because that's kind of the important part. But maybe you didn't even think about it, Jason. You're kind of just like, dude, I don't even know.
Well, no, I definitely thought about the money aspect of it. So we put 10% down for the hard money. Our all-in costs are around $7,500 a month, holding costs. So we've held it for 5 or 6 months already. So we're into it for $40,000 in hard money costs. But the value of the home went up significantly since we bought it in November. And so we have probably a couple $100,000 equity in the house. And so when we refi this thing, we're not going to have to put any more money in, like the 20% that the lenders want you to keep in the home. It'll be there.
Yeah. So really quick, because, so 1.4, you're about 420, not including closing costs. That's like, let's just say 1.9.
Mm-hmm.
Right? In order to get that back, it had to go to about 2.5, right? 2.6, maybe 2.2. I don't know. What's the number?
No, not that high. It's about 2.2, 2.3.
Wow, dude, that's badass.
I'm confident that it's there already because we only
that's
1.4.
I just saw that video. That thing is probably one of the nicest properties I'm like, wow, bro, you guys absolutely killed it. That thing's gonna do amazing.
Thank you,
guys. It's got a gym in there for you. Yeah. I know some of you guys can't see this because you're listening to this, but follow this man and watch this video. That I'm gonna post it on my Instagram right now. I'm gonna repost it because that thing is beautiful. I would stay there.
I appreciate it. Yeah, we put a lot of.
It's kind of scary though, because Jason, I mean, I could tell, man, it's beautiful. Your designer's awesome. The details are just I mean, I'm blown away by it. It's really beautiful, no joke.
Thank you.
But the thing that came to mind is Las Vegas, gigantic parties. If in order for me to go to and stay in your place, I got to get like 20 of my buddies to get together with me to actually take advantage of everything you have in there, right? Does that scare you? Man, I don't want these guys coming in and.
It does scare me a little bit. And I think my property management team does a great job of vetting these guests. That is a huge part of the business that nobody talks about, because anyone could go make a house beautiful but that's only a fraction of the business. The real business of this is operating the hotel that you own, your home. And if there's problems, and this is a bigger house, there's going to be a lot of problems, and these people are going to they're going to be fired up to party. And so we're trying to figure out, who do we want to rent this to? I know we don't want 16 bachelor party guys that are going to go nuts. But then on the flip side, there are also groups that take care of the house and are willing to pay a high number because they're on vacation or here for a convention or whatever. So we actually listed it. I listed it 2 days ago for $35,000 a month as a yearly rental. And I've got a few bites on it. We might go that route where one person or a family just wants to take advantage of a huge house. I don't know. Maybe they're building a house. Maybe they just want to enjoy a year and something different. But
that's a vacation in that house, bro. It's not even they want a vacation, because that house is a full on vacation. I wouldn't leave that place. It's literally, you got a gym, you got a pool room, an arcade room. I mean, beautiful. So, okay. So you're saying $35,000 a month if they do like a midterm rental.
Mm-hmm.
And your cost, you said, is what, $7,500 a month, something like that?
It'll be around 8,000. Probably be a little less because the interest rate and the hard money is a little bit higher than what we're gonna have. So I'll let's just say 75 all in
until you refi. Hang on, 75 all in, but not including your maintenance. Let's break that down, because a lot of times people don't look at maintenance issues and things like that. So on a house that big, dude, your maintenance on that house is probably what, like $600-700 a month?
So our pool is 150.
Yeah.
We don't really have any landscaping, maybe $100 here and there. But that's it. There's no HOA, which is great. That's why we really like this house. The maintenance issues are going to be paid by, if we do the midterm rental, by the guest. They have to pay for their electric. They have to pay for their water.
Oh, you're going to have them pay for that.
Mm-hmm.
So you're not gonna supply that as like an all-in inclusive type thing.
No, I don't think I need to. Maybe if the right offer, but to operate this house, if we were doing the short-term rental, the Airbnb, we're looking at probably about $1,500 a month all in for everything.
Yeah, I was gonna say that you're talking about utilities only if it's like midterm and longer. You don't pay for it, right?
Yeah,
if it's short term, you have to pay for it.
3 main utilities, and we were running it pretty good when the workers were there. Our electric bill will be around $500 to $700, and there's no gas in this house, and the water probably about $250 to $300.
Dude, just get some freaking Tesla solar plant panels up there. Don't worry about that.
I'm not too worried about this, the electric, to be honest, because the cash flow is going to be good enough.
Yeah,
it's not a deal breaker.
Are you offering any extra like amenities, like any, like, I know some of these ultra luxury rentals sometimes offer like butler services or like airport pickup services or like cars available, things like that.
Yeah, Rafa's thinking about having Chippendales there, right, Rafa?
Hey, if they're willing to pay for it, I will provide it.
Rafa's actually a Chippendale dancer, bro. So if you need that,
come on, dude.
It's funny. I just bought an Escalade 2 weeks ago because people always asking me, "Hey, I need a car."
Smart.
Extended Escalade. I made the license plate Airbnb.
Nice.
And I'm gonna drop it off. If these people need a truck, I'll charge them. I'll drop it off. We have a concierge service that we can handle all strip activities. If you want to go to a nightclub or a day club, pool party, we could set that up for you. We're setting up chefs, yoga instructors, gym instructors, swimming lessons, anything that you could think of that people are going to want. It's a phone call away, and we could set it up for them.
That's
awesome, man.
Amazing.
That's freaking badass. That's how you got to do the luxury stuff. That's how you do it.
Yeah, because these people are on vacation, right? They don't want to do anything. They don't want to go and look up reservations or book stuff. They want everything ready to go and plan for them. And so that's what my team and I, we're getting, because there's a lot of money in that too, with affiliating, that house into referring other businesses. So that's a whole nother business in itself. But my goal of this past 2 years was to really set everything up. And now I don't really want to buy anymore right now. I just want to focus on educating, teaching how I did it, and then, setting up businesses within the business, which is creating the affiliate marketing and building out references.
That's cool, man. And I feel like, because again, Las Vegas area, right? Like, you can provide so many great services at the car idea is gold. I spend more money on taxis in Vegas than I do in anything else when I go out there.
Yeah, I mean, it's something that this property is 25 minutes away from the Strip, so it's a little further out, and that was a concern too. Like, is it too far away? But there's nothing like it. So if I'm on vacation, I'd rather go stay at the coolest house. If it's an extra 10, 15 minutes away, it doesn't bother me. If we're going to Uber there or drive there, it's fine. It's not like it's an hour and a half away. It's only 25 minutes away. And then people were asking me, hey, do you have a car? Do you have a car? And I was like, let me just buy one, and I could drop it off whenever I want, whenever somebody needs one.
Put it under the company, make sure it's over, you got the weight limit down over 6 tons. I think that's what it is, 6,000 pounds.
Yep, get the tax benefit of it.
Tax benefit. You can write off 90% of that vehicle for that only. But yeah, dude, that's awesome. So, I'm my brain's still going back to like, dude, you didn't even run numbers yet. Like, I'm just like, holy crap. But I get it. I get it. I was going to tell you, Jason, I get it, because sometimes you get into these places and you just know. Like, you walk into, you're a realtor, you walk into freaking how many houses a day, a week, a month. Like, you'll walk into a place and probably just know, this place is going to kick ass. So when you're talking to somebody that's, I'm guessing a client that's going to be, I would assume that you're like an investor's client or investor's agent, where you go in and say, hey, I can help you find an Airbnb that's going to make money. Here's one right here.
I started like that, right? I was like, I'm going to help all these people find Airbnbs. And then I just started buying all of them myself. I was like, I don't have time for investors. I want to make most of this money. But yeah, I didn't know. I really didn't. I'm just being honest with you. I didn't know. There's nothing like it. We kind of I say that we created a new standard in this luxury short-term rental. And I think we did. And now I'm excited about kind of doing it in other places, because the best part about these houses is you could use them. We're going there tomorrow to barbecue and hang out with the team. I don't live in a 9,000 square foot house. Neither does anyone else I know. So we're just going to enjoy the backyard, hang out, barbecue, and enjoy it.
Well, dude, next time Rafa and I are in Vegas, we're gonna stay there too, bro. You better put our names down.
It's funny. I got invited to go out there this weekend. Isn't that the best thing, Jason? Is right now I'm focused on buying properties on places I would like to go to. The greatest thing is now you have this property that whenever you want to go to it, you can go and enjoy every part of it, right?
I think the coolest part about it is the networking of it. Like, I play pool. That's like my hobby. So I play pool a few times a week, and I had a professional pool player message me, and he's like, dude, can I stay in your house one night? And I was like, sure. Like, go ahead. Absolutely. And then he told all his friends about it. And then all these poker players see it. And now all these people want to go use your house. And it's like the network. And then they start asking you, can I do one with you? Well, can we do my house? And it's just the information and the name flow of this is endless.
Me and Jesse are doing we're trying to do like a mastermind, like an intimate group. That's like the perfect property in the perfect location for something like that, like a weekend thing.
Yeah, we have that idea. I'm building out my course as we speak, and that's going to kind of be like a good networking place that we could go. And I'm thinking about doing a field trip. I can literally take the students to each of my properties, show them exactly why I bought each one, and they're nice. Like, I looked at every single short-term rental in around my area where I bought my properties, but the difference between mine and the other ones is mine are brand new. I remodeled them completely. The brand new cabinets, brand new flooring, replastering the pool, you name it, it's brand new. And the furniture is brand new. It's not like crappy stuff I bought on Craigslist. So I charge a lot, and everybody, if you look at all my reviews, they're like, this house is brand new. It's awesome. This is the nicest short-term rental Airbnb we've ever stayed in. So it's been great.
So it's Jesse. I'm not forgetting about your let's run the numbers stuff.
Killing me, bro.
Jason, it's funny. So out of the 44 units that I have, All of them,
You have a
every
lot.
single.
Oh my god.
Well, they're all arbitrage. So you're kicking my ass as we speak already, right? I'm trying to get to what you're doing right now, right? I want to buy some nice high-end property, but it's funny when you said that, the fact that your place is so new. Every single one of mine is a brand new remodel or brand new construction. Not one is in an old beat up building. Not one is in a 140 unit complex. Every single one of them. Well, actually, some of them are, but the building was brand new when I took over it, right? The 30 unit complex we just took over, brand new build, right? And so it stands out so hard. Every single there's now, since I came to this place, there's probably like a couple hundred that popped up around me, but I'm the one that always stands out because all of mine are so new. They look at it and they go, well, this is brand new. Why would they not want to stay in a brand new place as opposed to a dingy old spot that's had, 10 years of wear and tear into it? And it makes such a big difference. I tell people that all the time. It's such a huge difference when you have something new that people are like, hey, this is the new shiny object. I want to stay here.
So I started this process with my normal long-term rentals. I always remodeled them because all the other rentals are crap. And so when I did this, I'm like, if I just put new cabinets in and nice flooring, and the goal with long-term rentals is you want to get one renter in there forever. You don't want the turnover. You lose money on turnover. And so I did one, and the tenant is still in there 6 years later. And I'm like, all right, now I'm going to keep doing this. And these people don't want to leave. That it's like their brand new place, even though they're renting it from you. Mentally, they think it's theirs. And so I love it because I don't have to do any work. I just collect rent from these people, and then it transferred over to the short-term rentals. I'm like, I'm going to take this model and do the same exact thing. I'm going to make it really nice, just like the hotels. Everyone wants to go to Resorts World right now. It's the newest, brand new hotel. Everyone wants to try it. Everyone's been to MGM 1,000 times and the Wynn Encore. Let's try the brand new shiny object. And so that's what I did.
Smart, man. You've cracked it, bro. You cracked the code on this stuff because it's huge. Real.
I think I did. And it's funny because I always have this argument with the arbitrage, and people are like, why don't you do arbitrage? It's so easy, and you're not, and you don't have any risk. And I'm like, okay, though those things are true, but I like investing in real estate. That's where the real money comes in, right? Like you're buying an asset that's going to go up in value over time. And that's what I've done. I've bought, and these things cash flow are crazy, but I also get the appreciation on it also. With the arbitrage, there's no appreciation, right? You're just banking on the cash flow. So it's two different businesses totally. And so I feel that the arbitrage business is so popular right now because it's a lot easier to do. And it's like the new fad, yo, let's go rent these apartments and arbitrage them, and we're gonna make millions of dollars doing it, and we're gonna scale it, blah blah blah. But I haven't had the opportunity to even really look into it because that's not my goal, and that's not my lane. My lane is investing in real estate.
I was about to say that, Jason. The reason why I do it is because this is when I first started, I couldn't afford to buy a property.
Yeah. I know what you would. I'm not hating on it at all.
Yeah, no, and I want to touch on it because this is why people always go, well, why don't you do arbitrage or whatever, Jesse? You're just a hater, bro. No, but it goes, why are you doing arbitrage? Well, it's not that I choose to do it. I just happen to be good at it now, and I have such good relationships that they just throw them at me. Like, no joke. I no longer go out and look for places. I have really good relationship with investors, and they go, hey, I got more properties. You want them? Well, of course I want them. I'm going to have a cash flow and asset for the next 4 years. Why would I pass on it? Right? And they're brand new rehabs. And you know that renter that you said it's been there for 6 years? I'm that guy for them. Right? I'm taking great care of their property, all of that, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But on the flip side of it, when I first started, I couldn't afford to buy a property. The goal is always to buy property. And when I got to so many, to a point, like right now, I have so many now that I'm like, okay, I can now actually start purchasing property at some point, right? Like I actually just started purchasing property, but it always goes down to where you're at in that point in your time in life. If you can't afford to go out and buy a house, then go out and open an arbitrage and start cash flowing.
It's a great point. It's a great point for newer investors. It's college kids, stuff like that want to do it. It's a great little business that's kind of formed. I do think they're going to stop it though. Yeah,
I mean, it's
gonna get. All they need to do is just copy what Henderson does. Like, you need to own your house to do it.
Yeah,
and
there's gonna be regulations coming.
100%.
There's regulations everywhere already, especially because people are doing it illegally without permission and causing issues, right?
Right.
I'm always an advocate of educating people on how to do it correctly over just going in there, because I've gotten kicked out of buildings because people jump in not doing things correctly. And it's the worst thing ever,
Yeah.
you know? And working, it depends on where you're at too. If you go into those big 300 unit apartment complexes, it's way more difficult than talking to a small investor who owns maybe 10, 15 units that you can take over by yourself.
And you're doing them all in California?
Yeah, they're all in Orange County, California, man.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
great. Well, did you see San Diego? They came down hard, right, with the new law. They took away 40% of them.
Mhm. Yeah, I mean, all the cities down here, every single one has a regulation now. I think there's only like maybe 5 or 6 left. I'm in cities with regulations. You just got to work around and know how to actually operate within the regulations.
Yeah, and regulations are a good thing. They're not bad. Regulations is not a bad thing. Like you want to be in a place that's regulated because you know that you have the next X amount of years to get in there. And the cities that don't have the regulations, that's scary, dude. Because then you never know what the hell can happen. All it takes is some kid to have a party and some dude to get shot, and then the city to say, "Hey, this is an Airbnb that's happened at." And guess what? Every single property you have in that market, done, gone, because there's no regulations there. So
I don't operate any illegally. I just don't. It's just not worth it. The fine and my reputation is worth a lot more than making a few grand a month off these things. So yeah, I don't.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. Hey, Jesse, go ahead. Let's go into the numbers that you were asking about, because I have another question.
yeah, so this is my other question, because with real estate, are you buying all these on your own, or do you have partners that you go in and you say, "Hey, I need you to put in X amount of money. I'm going to put in X amount of money," or like what does your structure look like for the property you're working on now and maybe future properties? So can you kind of break, or even the ones you had before? So give us a breakdown when you first started.
I love partnering. I wouldn't be where I was today if I didn't partner with people. And so my rule is this: I partner with people who could bring value to the house or to me. And so I am very good at finding the properties, but I'm not good at construction and I'm not good at design. I am good at running the rentals. And so I partnered with people that are really good at construction. And I said, look, can we make with these flips you're doing, can we take this house and build something nice? And they said, no problem. We do this all the time. And so I showed that. It's funny because they hate rentals, these flippers. They're the flippers. They want to make the quick cash, in and out, boom, boom, boom. And I convinced them I'm like, just take a look at this model. Just take a look. I'm like, we're doing the same thing where you're fixing the house, but we're going to keep it. And we're going to make good profit on it. And so they got hooked right away. And now they're like, we don't even need to flip anymore. Let's get more of these things going. But that's what I did. I love partnerships. If the person can bring value to me, and my partners they're amazing to work with, and they just kill it. They knock it out of the park with the construction side.
So Jason, break down the partnership. So is it like 50-50 equity? Is it what does that look like? Is it 50-50 down payment? Is it a property management's coming in there and saying, hey, we want to be on that note, but we're going to take X amount. We'll split profits with you. Like, what does that actually look like? Because there's a bunch of ways to skin a cat, and I hate that saying. Like, who the hell even came up with that skin a cat thing? But anyway, like, what?
Yeah, good question. My structure is super easy, 50-50 across the board.
Everything's just boom right down the middle.
Yeah, down payment split in half, the construction split in half, and then the profit split in half. And so what we do is we create an LLC. I have a great relationship with a lawyer out here. We deed the home into an LLC, and he's 50%, I'm 50%. And there's no fighting over it. There's no discrepancy with this thing. To answer your question, the property management is not ever involved in the ownership of the home. They just take their percentage for running the home, and that's it.
Yeah, got you. Okay, cool. Yeah, because there's so many ways to get into real estate. Like we were just talking about a second ago with arbitrage. If you get really good at something and you provide value to somebody, like I can go to Jason one day and be like, hey, Jason, I have a design company, I have property management, I have this, and instead of paying you, let's just say it's $100,000 up front, we know your property is going to make, $30,000 a month. Instead of me charging you 30% for that, that could be me rolled in for the next 2 years. Jason, we just got a deal right now, bro. So like, you know what I mean? There's different ways of doing things where we're contracted in. And I feel the same way as you do, because there's a lot of guys out there right now putting together contracts and not necessarily putting any money in at all. And Rafa, you and I had this conversation that someday somebody's going to get freaking pissed and be like, dude, you didn't put as much money as I did. I didn't do this. You didn't do that. And then somebody's at the end of the day, somebody's pissed and wants to jam out of the situation because it wasn't equal. So
I think, Jesse, too, it also goes down to what everyone's comfortable with, right? Jason, you love that 50-50 structure because it's fair for everybody. I like that 50-50 structure for everybody, but some people don't like it because, for example, if you partner with someone that knows absolutely nothing and just has millions of dollars sitting in the bank and you're doing all the work, right? You might go, hey, maybe you provide the funds and I do everything else. You just collect the paycheck. That's still fair. You get what I'm saying? It just depends on the situation and how you partner up with people and how you do things. I get people all the time that ask me like, hey, can you hook me up with some locations? Because again, like I've just gotten really good at finding them, right? Or it's not that I've gotten really good at finding them. I've gotten really good at making the relationships with the people who give them to me. And people don't understand that.
And
they think,
you're right. That's worth a lot of money.
Yeah. And they think, oh, hey, you're really good at just making phone calls and getting an approval. No, dude, it was a year's worth of relationships. They now know me. They trust me. I'm not just going to go, hey, I got this guy, random person who I don't know, who wants to not work with you, and I'm going to put my name on it.
My broker has a saying for that. He calls it relationship wealth. And so you're building your wealth through your relationship.
Absolutely.
And he always talks about that. And it's so true because everybody's got money right now. They're like, hey, Jay, let me give you 50 grand. I want it. I'm like, dude, you want it? Go find a house. Go find a house and bring it to me, and then we'll do it. Because
exactly.
This is what I do all day. I call, years of building this, and you just want to hop in because you just want to hop in for whatever reason.
You got money for it? Yeah,
it doesn't work like that.
Yeah,
and so it's funny. I don't feel comfortable taking money from somebody that doesn't. Like, I've had investors say, I'll put up all the money, and I don't know, it just doesn't feel right. Like, if we're going to do it, like, I have to put the money in also. I understand.
For skin in the game.
Yeah, to build out to where you want to go, like the big dogs, they do that. They take people's money and they use it. And I just haven't turned that corner yet.
Yeah, OPM, that's a big thing right now. That's like a whole big thing in real estate. Other people's money, you know.
It's just like Jason said, everybody has money right now to throw at stuff. So it's like the value you provide, Jason, is huge. It's huge, right? You know the business, you know what's going to work. I mean, you're the trial, you cracked the code, right? Like literally what we were just talking about. You already went through the ups and downs. So when someone goes, hey, I have $3 million, what's up? Well, I know what we can do with those because I've already been through that. As opposed to someone who doesn't know what they're doing, right? That's the value you're bringing, that you've already been through. You know what you're doing. You know what you're building. You know how to handle it, which actually leads me to my next question. In terms of scaling, right? You said you have 9 of them now. What was it?
I have 8. I have 7 here in town and 1 in Kansas City.
Oh, we still got to talk about Kansas City. That's right.
I bought the one in Kansas City. Again, I didn't know. I didn't know. I just did it. It's not doing as good as I thought. I'm going to be honest. I got it with the good. You got to go also the bad. We're looking at maybe switching to a longer rental, but I bought it during the snow or cold season. So I have to give it some time. I'm a pretty patient guy. Like, you got to give it a good year.
I was going to say at least a year. Yeah. In order to see if it works, right?
Why do you think it's not doing well?
Because their model, where I bought the property, we'll talk about this for a second. It's all about location. You could have a nice house in the crappy location. It's not, no one's going to go. Like, so where I bought this place, I got it at a really good discount, which is why I tried it. So I have a lot of equity in the home, and it's not near anything. It's just a house in the middle. It's kind of by a racetrack-ish area. There's a casino around.
There's a Target right around the corner.
Yeah, there's not. And the guy that got me into it, he was like, we could try this area. He was like, I don't know. Like, we haven't done this area yet. So we tried it. And I've made money on it, but not a crazy amount, nothing like I'm doing here. But you have to try. You have to get in the pool to swim, and if it doesn't work, okay, I'll sell it. I'll go on to the next area that I think will work. But to scale it, yeah, I don't know. That's what I've been having trouble trying to figure out of how to scale this thing, which is why I am leaning more towards the education of it. I think where I'm at now, I've done it. I've gone through every problem, every headache, anything you could think of, I've gone through with this stuff. And so I'm not gonna sell these. I'm gonna keep them, and they're great. But getting more is just taking years off my life. I feel like, but I want to educate and teach people how to do it because it is really good money.
Yeah, man, that's awesome. I would absolutely sign up to your course for that.
I appreciate it.
Jason, right now, like, what is your why? Like, what is all this for? Like, what are you doing all this for?
It's a good question. I don't know. I just have a knack with the rental side of real estate. I think it's the easiest model to build wealth. I come from nothing. I moved here with $2,000 in my pocket and a crappy car. And I just bought one property and I'm like, holy crap, like we're making this much over the mortgage every month. This person's paying off my house. It's easy. And so I got hooked to that model. And one thing about me that I've been better at the past few years is I don't really go into other avenues. I stick to what I'm good at. I get pulled sometimes like, oh, you can make this much money in crypto, or you could do this. And I'm like, you know what? Great. Like that's not for me. I'm just going to stick to what I'm good at. And so I think to build wealth, and the best way to build wealth is through rental real estate. There's no secret formula to it. You buy something, it's going to go up over time, and you're having somebody else pay off your house. And that's what you're doing with these short-term rentals, just at a higher cash flow volume.
Yeah, on steroids, rental with steroids.
That's my analogy, and I think there's nothing better to compare it to. Like you have your regular rentals, and then you have these short-term rentals that are on steroids. Like they are pumping money. And
it's funny too about what Jesse said, Jason, and what you said too, Jason. Everybody that we've talked to and everybody that I've talked to is always there's a sort of like a connection between everybody, right? The most successful people are the people who stay in their lane and focus on what they're doing, right? I went through the same thing when I was pretty established short-term rentals already. I had like 30 something. I started derailing into different things, different avenues. And I was like, well, I got to really focus on what I'm doing. Like I have a goal here in mind, right? Again, the goal is to purchase property at some point. And those people that focus and they stay on what they're doing and where they're working at and where they're going are always the people who end up very successful at the end of it. That can be like the people. Why do you disagree with that?
Because if you look at companies like Blockbuster and you look at companies like Barnes and Noble, they were really good at one thing, but they didn't see the shiny stuff.
Yeah,
not the shiny stuff. The vision didn't change.
Yeah, no, but you're talking about. See, here's the difference. We're not talking about staying stuck in what we're doing. We're talking about being good at what we're doing because we have to all pivot at some point. Blockbuster didn't pivot when it was time to pivot.
That's the word.
We know how to pivot.
Pivot.
We can pivot in situations. This is how I got past the COVID situation because I pivoted my business and it succeeded, right? And I'm still going. We're talking about very different things. Right.
Okay.
We're talking about
staying in your lane. One thing.
Short-term rentals and rentals are not fix and flips. You can't pivot into fix and flips. That's just a completely different business. Right. It's like saying Blockbuster pivot into selling CDs, right? Two different businesses. That's what we're talking about, right? So, okay, Jason. So really quick though, because we're getting towards the top of the hour here and we always want to ask our questions, but I want to ask you in terms of the scaling part of things. Do you manage all these yourself or do you have a company who helps you manage these properties? Do you have systems in place like operations? How does that look?
So I partnered with my coworker Sean, and he is the guru who started this thing. He manages 17 of them here in town, which is the most I think of any property manager in our area. And so I pay him a fee to manage everything for me, but I'm very involved. I help. I don't ask for a discount. I think what I pay him is very fair. He does a lot of work. His team is great, and he protects my house. And that's important to me. And so I'm willing to pay him his fee to protect my house. I don't have any problems. I really don't. I did in the beginning, growing pains, setting it up, but he does a really good job of vetting these guests. And that's a huge part of this thing. Like you can set the thing up and put it on Airbnb. Oh, look, I got a new thing. But operating it is a whole nother beast, which you know about. And that's
property management is even different. It's even harder in property management because you got to deal with the owners.
Yes,
and that can be a pain in the ass, Jason. I'm not saying you're a pain in the ass owner, but
I'm a psycho, and he tells me all the time. He's like, "You're nuts. You're out of control." Like I'll call him every day. I'm like, "Look at this one. What do you think about this one?" He's like, "Dude, slow down." And I'm like, "No, like we're going all in here. I'm 100 miles per hour all the time." But it works because you have somebody like myself who cares, and he cares, so we work good together.
Yeah, I always ask Jesse why he's doing like the co-hosting and the managing. I can't do it. I've gotten a lot of offers to it, and I'm like, I just can't. It's like giving myself another job. I'd rather stick down my lane and manage my own properties as well. Yeah, man. Hey, so we asked 2 questions to everybody who always comes on our shows, right? And God, I wish we could talk forever because this is an awesome conversation, but we always got to ask it. In terms of your business, your life, being that our show is called The Big Break Show, what was your big break in life that got you from just being I don't know, a regular dude to who you are now, or who went from your business from being just a regular business to like this giant, like, wow. What was that break? Did you have a big break? Did you have a point where you just went from here to what you're like, whoa?
I think the first day, well, two things. One, I moved from where I live. I moved from Long Island, New York, where a lot of my friends and family still are. They'll never leave. And I took a shot at 22 years old. I moved across the country by myself. I had one friend here and I was hooked, and I saw a lot of opportunity in Las Vegas. So that was my first one. And the second one, because I was a teacher. When I got a master's degree, I was a phys ed teacher. The second one was getting into real estate. The first day I bought that rental property, I just knew that I was going to do this. Like, it just clicked for me. I'm good at it. My tenants like me, and I have a whole nother business being a realtor too. But I really love investing in real estate. So that was my big moment, I would say.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome.
Yeah, that is cool. That's cool, man. Yeah, and then also one of our other segments here is, and I want to hear your best New York, like, get out of here too at the very end of here. You know, people are like, get out of here. One of the
guys, so it's no problem.
Shit, it's just cool to hear. I love accents, dude. Like, they're just cool. But so in our we always ask two questions. Rafa's right. The other one is learn and apply. So somebody listening to this right now or watching this on YouTube, what can they do from this podcast or this YouTube video they're watching that they can go learn, that they learned in the show, that they go apply it? So what would you tell somebody right now to go apply with whatever they just heard over the last hour?
Okay, yeah. I think I tell everyone this: to start with buying or a rental property, however you can get your hands in one. And that's like the biggest thing that I'm seeing. Like these younger kids, they don't know where to start. They don't know what to do. And so what I tell people is this: go buy your own personal house and rent out the rooms to friends or family so you can make cash flow to help pay off your own house. And then the second part of that is, once you got that established, go buy another one and keep building it up. And that's how you'll build wealth. For the short-term rentals, it's the same thing, but just you're renting to multiple people over time, not just that one tenant. So this business is amazing to make money. It really is. And to build your wealth. And it's a fun business.
You know, Jason, it used to be either you buy property for cash flow or you buy property for appreciation. And with short-term rentals, you don't have to pick. You get both.
So Vegas is one. It turned into like a really big real estate market over the past years.
Yeah.
Huge. It's a big boy city now, right? And so I was getting both. I still am. I'm still getting both every month. I'm like, holy crap, this house is worth this. This is crazy. And now with appreciation, now the rents go up too with it.
Mm-hmm.
And now you're like, sorry, I have to charge you $250. This is the market rent now. That's it. You can't, and they can't leave. Your long-term rentals, they can't go anywhere else. This is their home. So you can take advantage of that, but we'll see how the market goes. But it's still going up in years also, your market too. But that's what's happening.
Yeah, in my market, rents went from $1,800 to $2,600 in the past year. It's insane.
It's freaking nuts.
Insane.
I know it's all across the country.
Yeah,
really. But in my opinion, I think Vegas and Henderson has the best rental market in the country.
Yeah, that's awesome. Today I just was reading an article. The Feds are raising interest rates. So what do you think that's going to do to the housing market?
I think it's going to help the rental market. I really do, but I think it's going to simmer things down. Hopefully, it doesn't crash things. But I feel so bad for people who want to buy their first home. Like, they just can't. There's 50 offers on every. I can't even buy a new home for myself right now. I bid on a house. Me and my wife and I this weekend. We threw in a crazy offer. Like, I'm like, what am I doing? And I still didn't even get it. So I'm like, thankfully, I'm like, all right, good. Like, I didn't get it. But I'm like, to buy something new, that's what you have to do.
Sorry, Jesse. I know I keep cutting you off, dude. This is such a good conversation. Usually me and Jesse have signals where we're like, yeah, all right, you go, I go, you go. But this is so good that I'm like, to touch on that really quick, Jason, we bought my parents a house and we had to do like 70 grand over asking. And I was kind of like, I almost was like, I don't want to do this. Like, it's stupid. Luckily, we negotiated. I think we ended up doing something like 50 over, but luckily it actually appreciated at what we offered anyway. So it worked out. But yeah, man, the market's just stupid. now.
I say California is a whole nother planet of real estate. Like what you guys are doing, like it's out of control. Like it shouldn't be legal. Like the stuff you guys are doing over there. Like I know my market's bad, and New York is pretty good, but California is just like the rules. It's like another planet. Like I'm not going over there because it's out of control.
Yeah, it's freaking nuts. I was gonna tell you, dude, you don't need to buy a new house. You have all these Airbnbs. Just go freaking chill out in them for a week or a couple days, and there you go. That's your house right there, man.
So it's funny, that big one that I bought, I said to my wife, I go, the more something happens, like we're moving in here. I already told my partner, like we both can move in, both of our families. So we'll have a ball. But yeah, that's what I look at. I do look at that sometimes, that I could move into one of my short-term rentals.
It's always an option, bro. Options are the best. That's the best thing. But Jason, man, if you want to go ahead and let everybody know where they can find you at, about information, maybe talk about the course that you're working on. And well, yeah, just let everybody know where they can find you on Insta or Facebook or whatever it is.
Cool. Yeah. So my Instagram is on the screen, J Griggs Real Estate. My Instagram's on the screen, J Griggs Real Estate. I am building out a course to help students and young investors how to start into this short-term rental business. And then I'll be doing another one for long-term rentals as well. And you can message me anytime. I'm happy to coordinate. But the reason why I'm starting to do this is I want to partner with other investors and tap into other cities. Just not California, because I'm scared of California.
Don't worry, bro. I'm in California. We should partner on something, and I'll put your nerves at ease in California. I know the entire market so well now that, well, I mean, I happen to live here. But yeah, man. Thanks for coming on. This was awesome. I mean, we can talk forever. We just have to keep it under an hour. If not, we could have like a solid 3-hour conversation. This was really...
I'm happy to come back on another time whenever you guys want to have me.
We have to. We have to have you back on. Actually, you know what we'll do, Jesse? We should bring him on when you're operational in his house. So we can break down some numbers and go over it and go into like the details. That would be fun.
Yeah.
And if you guys ever want to come out and give it a run, just you have my number.
Appreciate that.
You know what? Don't take us up on that, man, because we might have a mastermind out there.
I would love. That's something I would love to do. Partner with somebody and build a mastermind class.
So, okay, now that you guys brought it up, I was gonna wait till after the show, but since we're already talking about it, dude, Jason, I was actually gonna suggest that we should actually have one. Right? You focus on this, Jesse focuses on something specific, and I'm like, I happen to be really good at arbitrage, and we can actually bring a really good group of people. And your property, bro. I'm telling you, wow. I'm still like, wow.
Corporate retreat, man.
We can have a really good weekend mastermind there for anybody.
Have you ever done a mastermind? I haven't done one.
Yeah, I have. I've been to several. So, and I actually just had a 5-day training on arbitrage, and it was like a small mastermind.
Did you actually host it? Was it yours, or did you just attend?
I hosted it. Yeah.
Oh, wow. How many people did you have?
Only 8. Yeah, it was 8 people. So it was small and intimate. It was cool. And it was fun, but me and Jesse want to do like a good one and a good look. We were thinking about Napa, but now maybe we should talk. Let's talk. Let's
just rent your space, man. There we go.
I'm in.
Okay. Well, thanks again. We're going to end it here.
Actually, we got to end it. Jason, you got to end this with your get out of here, and then we'll close it off right there.
Get out of here.
There it is. All right, cool. Thanks, bro. We appreciate it.
Man. All right, guys.